Afternoon on a very pleasant sort of day, summer day, low 70s temperature, which would be low 20s in Celsius, I would guess. I'm in Mountain View, California, which is about 50 kilometers south of San Francisco, home to Google and various other tech titans of the industry. So that's what Mountain View is mainly known for, I suspect. And we're going to have a little dance class today that is geared for a pretty general audience. It'll be review for those of you who've been dancing quite a while or are teachers, and maybe some new material for newer dancers. So to begin with, I'd like to introduce my dance partner, who's around here somewhere, Laura Cooper, going to be helping to demonstrate. And also our musicians, if you'd like to come out from the behind the kitchen door there. Michael Bentley on percussion and Susan Worland on fiddle. Very happy to have them playing for us today.
We're happy too.
They say they're.
Good music. Good people.
All right. So we're going to get started with a little bit of a warm-up Kaylee dance. I know some of you have been dancing in Marjorie's class, but I don't think that was a huge amount of dancing, and some of you may have just been watching, and other people may have joined in. So we're going to do a little Kaylee dance called the social swing to start off with. And we'll walk it first just to show it. Taking right hands with a partner if you have one. You're going to just walk forward, starting with the right foot, 2, 3, pull back right shoulder. That's 4 steps, and keep walking 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat the other direction, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then crossing over, cross right, step left, cross right, hop, cross left, step right, cross left, hop, pas de basque, step hop, step hop. Let's all try that to my count. Ready? And right, 2, 3, pull back, right, 2, 3, close, step 2, 3, pull back, step 2, 3, close. Cross 2, 3, hop, cross 2, 3, hop, pas de basque, step hop, step hop. All right. Let's try that with one time through just to get the bearings of it. With the music, yes.
I'm going to start with a 4-bar.
Let's give you can I give you a ready on for this one?
Just a ready on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready and. Okay.
Excellent.
Hopefully that went all right. It's pretty simple. And you can take it at your, do match the music, but take it at your own pace as far as the energy level. So you can simply walk, or you can do a more jaunty kind of step forward and back. And if you want to add a little interest, rather than continuing to do the dance just in one plane, on the last step hops, you can do step, hop, and change the angle by 90 degrees, and then proceed on the new axis. Kind of like a country western dance, if you're familiar with that genre. Okay, so I think we'll go ahead and we'll have it say 4 times through. This will have a 4-bar lead in this time. The social swing. Yeah, we'll do pivots. positions. Hopefully that got a little bit of a blood flowing. That's really all it was designed to do. And we'll move from here into some stretches. So if we could have some waltz time. And I will back up a little bit so you can see my full body and just follow along. We're going to be doing some pliés and some ankle rolls and the usual kinds of things. Try and keep your core fairly firm. I've recently had some back issues and I'm learning how to do everything with a good strong core, and that really helps. Okay. And if you have something you can hold on to, that might help out if your balance is at all tricky at this point. Thank you, Susan.
Okay.
And plie. And come up this time. Rotate the right ankle. And back. Heel and toe. Left. Rolling the ankle. And back. Press heel and toe. And step onto this foot and get a calf stretch. Keeping that core tight. Move your back foot in a little bit. Keep going. Thank you, Susan. Bend both knees. Straighten the front knee. And release. Change feet. The other foot in front. Get a good stretch in the back calf muscle. Hamstring. Foot in a bit and bend both knees. Straighten the front. And release. And circle the arms. And shoulders. Way. And push some air around past your left shoulder. And same on the right. Stretching out all those arm muscles. Thank you. Beautiful waltz music. Hopefully now that we've had a chance to get the blood flowing and now the muscles stretched out a bit, we're ready to dance. So we're going to move into jig time. The focus of my class is on some figures of progression that are less well known. We all, I think, are comfortable with things like allemands and poussettes. But we're going to look at some of the modern figures of progression that we don't see as often, and you may not have seen it all during the pandemic shutdown period. So we'll look at each one of these and put it into a dance. But first of all, we'll just do a little bit of jig time skip change just to continue our warm-up process. So if we could have 16 bars, sure. I'd like you to listen for the first 8 and then dance for the second 8. And we'll dance around for the second 8 as well. Thank you. And So I'm not going to focus a lot on feet during this hour lesson, but mainly on just making sure people are able to move comfortably. I know it's been a long time since most of us have done a lot of intensive step work or that kind of thing, and this is not really the right occasion for that, but we'll keep going with this sort of thing. I'd like you to do one more round of skip change, just another 8 bars, and make sure you have all the parts of the step. So hop, step, close, step, with a third position in behind as much as possible. Thank you. Ready, and. All right. Now we need to do a little bit of a mixture of setting and traveling, which will come up in a couple of the dances we're doing. So let's do setting for 2, travel forward for 2, set for 2, travel forward for 2. So an 8-bar phrase. Ready, and. Okay, and when we travel forward enough, our feet go out of the frame. Oh, well. And we should probably do that in the other order as well. So travel and set, and travel and set. So travel to skip change, set for 2 pas de basque, travel and set. 8 bars, please. Ready, and. All right. And I trust you're all following very well with that. Last little piece of sort of preparatory exercise, put yourself in set position. So the head of our set is going to be away from the camera. So we're in first couples position. And we're just going to turn with the right hand for 4 bars and back with the left hand for 4 bars, remembering to take the hands at shoulder height and release in enough time to get back through the sidelines. So 4-bar turns by right and left. Ready, and. Okay, and I'm sure you did that just beautifully. All right, so we're going to look at the first of our formations now. And I will pause just a moment and see if there's any questions going on. I'm not reading the chat, so I'm trusting that whoever's monitoring will let me know.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, very good.
Is the music coming through okay?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Great.
All right, very good. So we're going to look at the Espagnole, a figure invented by John Drury back in the 1970s and used by quite a few dances. We're going to look at it in quick time, in jig time. So to begin with, we're going to show it dancing from the ladies' side, or the right file. Because the interesting part of the figure that sometimes causes people issues is what happens between the 2 people of the same gender now and then. So as ladies, we're going to dance across, taking right hands. First lady is going to lead second lady across in front of her, and we face away from each other, dance back across on bars 3 and 4, towards each other, and then put out the appropriate hand to turn our partners, which will be right hand at the top, left hand at the bottom. Once round in 4 bars, back to place. Similarly, from the men's side, the men are going to dance across on the outside as the ladies are coming through the middle. So the men dance across, 1 and 2, take right hands, and first man crosses left man in front of him, 3 and 4, and then we dance away from each other into the turn, mirrored turn, back to place. So I hope you've got a bit of perspective on it from that point of view. Now we'll actually show it as first couple, and we'll dance to 8 bars of music.
Do you want
that
the
way.
title tune right now or not yet?
No, just any jig is
jig,
fine.
okay.
Yes, thank you, Susan. So here is the Espagnole dancing as first couple. Ready, and. All right. So I hope that's given you a little bit of perspective. So I'd like you to all try it now. So to my count, just walking from whichever position is comfortable. I know some of you are dancing solos, some are in a couple, some are actually in a set of dancers. So whatever works for your space. So Espanol, starting from the sidelines, bars 1 and 2, the ladies cross through the middle as the men dance across on the outside. Bars 3 and 4, the men cross through the middle and the ladies dance across on the outside. 5, 6, 7, 8, you have your mirrored turn. Let's try that with some music. Ready, and. Very good. And we'll do that one more time, and if it works out for you well, take the other position this time. So we'll dance as twos this time. And we'll dance the Espanol one more time. Remember, the ladies cross through the middle while the men dance on the outside to begin. Ready, and. Okay, hope all is going well with that. We're going to put it into a dance now, and I'm going to use the dance that introduced the Espanol, John Drury's dance called Glayva, spelled in his publication Glayva, derived from a Gallic expression that was originally spelled GLE with an accent BHA, which means very good or well done, like a good shot in shinty perhaps might get a Glayva, you know, this kind of thing. So, 32 bar jig for 2 couples. And we'll start from the beginning of the dance now. The Espanol will come at the end. So to begin with, Laura and I will walk through the first little bit. We're going to dance half of a double figure of 8, with the 1s crossing down as the 2s dance up the sides. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the 2s, we're going to turn with the 2s below us, mirrored fashion, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then right away we do the same thing again. The same 8 bars crossing back. So crossing down, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and turn the 2s below us, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the interesting thing about this is that this is the same pattern as in the Espanol, but rotated by 90 degrees, which is probably what gave John the idea of coming up with this new progression. So let's all dance those 16 bars. 1's crossing down, casting up, turning the 2s on the side, and then again crossing down, dancing up, turning the 2s on the side. Ready, and. And again. And I hope you did that just with a good deal of success. We'll try that one more time. If you've had success from the first position, you might try it from the other position just to see how that feels. So we'll do another 16 bars, same formation again, half double figure of 8 and turns. Ready, and. Turning on the side. Crossing down, casting up, turn. All right, so that's the first half of the dance. Next little bit is a little change of pace. So we're going to dance right hands across once around. On the 4th bar, we pull in slightly and pull right shoulder back to face out on the diagonal towards our original position. We dance out with 2 skip change and face in and set on bars 7 and 8. And this will set us up for the Espanol, which follows. So let's all walk that 3rd figure together. Right hands across, once around. On bar 4, pull in and pull your right shoulder back. Dance out 5 and 6, and set 7 and 8. And I think we can dance the whole second half. So we'll dance that piece plus the Espanol, which finishes the dance. So 16 bars. Thank you, Susan. Ready, and. En Espanol. All right. I hope you had success with that. Remember that the wheel needs to go a little faster than your standard wheel because you need to allow time on that fourth bar to come in and pull your shoulder back. So make it go around a little, cover a little more ground than you might normally in a wheel, just to make that happen. So assuming everybody is having a good experience with that, I think we'll go ahead and do the dance 3 times through. Oh, no, let's put the dance together once, first of all. Once by 32. So the half double figures of 8 in turns, twice. The right hand's across, dance out and set, and the Espanol, the full 32 bars. Ready, and. Turn on the side. Figures of 8. Wheel. Good. Well, it worked well for us, and I hope it worked well for you. If there are no questions, I will go ahead and dance that 3 times through. You can either just dance it from the same position 3 times in succession, or you can alternate. If you're in a 2-couple set, you can dance first place, second place, first place. Whatever, or if you are feeling it's a bit strenuous, you can always dance once, rest out the middle time, and dance on the 3rd repetition. So don't want to overstress yourself if you maybe haven't been dancing a lot in the recent months. So 3 times with a bow and curtsy. Thank you, Susan. Pressing down. Espanol. From the beginning. Turn on the side. Right hand's in. Out. Set. Espanol. All right. Well played, and I hope well danced by all those who are participating. Get yourself a little drink of water, breathe a bit. It is an energetic dance especially if you're dancing solo or in a 2-couple set. All right. Susan, did you want to say anything about the music?
Well,
Into your mic? Yeah.
poking me, I didn't know why. I don't actually have a whole lot to say about this particular piece of music because I have played it before, but I didn't know very much about it. The title of the dance itself, I mean, the title of the music itself, not the dance, is Bobby Jack's Compliments to Mary Prentice. But I don't know anything about who Mary Prentice or Bobby Jack were, or when this came to be or anything. So then the other one is clearly based on Gaelic tunes, and the rhythms, the how do you pronounce this, Michael? Slav Russell. So that's from a different part of our world, our country. But I think they work quite nicely together. I had another tune here I was thinking of using was Miss Jenny Younger, which we did as one of the warm-up things a little bit earlier. But I think these two work very nicely together. 1, 2, and then back to 1 again.
Very good, yes. Yeah, the dance is dedicated to Mary Prentice, so she must have been someone that John knew, probably another dancer, I would expect. So we're moving along now. We'll be moving into Strathspey time next. So we'll do a little bit of a step warm-up for that, and then look at a figure in a dance. So just as some generic Strathspey music, if we could have 8 bars, we'll just dance 8 bars of Strathspey traveling step wherever in the room or your space that you would like. Your spaces may be more or as confined as mine, so you may have to judge where you can go. So when Susan is ready,
I'm going to take something that's from another thing that I had before, Mrs. Barbara Manning. So it's just normal Strathspey, though. Okay.
Okay. Could we have 8 bars of Strathspey?
Yes.
Ready and. Very nice tune. I presume everyone was dancing good Strathspey, right, nicely paced Strathspey steps. I'd like to do one more set, but emphasizing some difference in length between your steps. I won't ask necessarily for too short and too long or that kind of thing. Your space may or may not allow that, but use your own judgment depending on the confines you're dancing in, and dance at least a mixture of some shorter and some longer steps. Remembering that to get the longer steps, you want a good sink and reach forward, and then you can also use the second extension of the step, beat 3 of the step, to lengthen it out. So if we could have another 8 bars, thank you. Ready, and. Nicely done. Now, coming into your set position, a little sequence to get us prepared for what's going to come. So we're going to turn with 2 hands once around, the first 2 steps, and open out to face down. Set on bars 3 and 4. Dance down, and cast back to our original place. And the dancing down can be your shorter steps, and then the cast back should be your longer steps. So turn for 2, set for 2, dance down, short steps, cast back, long steps. 8 bars, please. Ready, and. Set. Short steps down. Casting back. And I trust that went well to put some variety into the length of your step. So the formation we're going to be looking at for our Strathspey is the tourbillon, modern figure devised by Barry Pretty, and we'll look at it in its original dance that he published, The Sands of Morar, published originally in 1983 in a Glasgow collection, Glasgow branch collection, and then reprinted by the Society in book 45. So the tourbillon, we'll walk it through first, looks like this. We're going to turn halfway on the first step, and then the man will release left hand and lead down the lady's side. So by the end of bar 2, we're in first and second places on the lady's side. We set, 3 and 4, turning to face each other again. Do another half turn, and this time the lady leads across to the opposite side, and then we cross over with right hands, 7 and 8. So this figure uses a variety of length of step just within the confines of the 8 bars. We'll show that once again. We'll dance it from second place. It actually mirrors very symmetrically from second place to first place. So we turn halfway. The lady leads up the side. We set 3 and 4. We turn halfway. The man dances across, releasing hands, and then we cross over by the right, 7 and 8. And if we could have 8 bars of music, we'll show what that looks like to tempo. Ready, and. All right. So I'd like you all to have a go at it. First of all, to my count, just walking the pattern in case you're unfamiliar with it. So from the sidelines, in whichever position you'd like to start. Well, let's say you're in first position. That makes it a little easier. I'll cue it as if you're in first position. So first couple is going to turn with both hands. The man will release left hands and lead down the lady's side, lady following, till you're side by side facing across. You set on bars 3 and 4. Then you turn again halfway, and this time the lady leads across, so I turn opposite sides in second place, and you use bars 7 and 8 to cross over. Let's try that with some music, please. Come back to your starting positions. Ready, and. Very nice tune, yes. Let's do that one more time. So if you're comfortable with one position in the set, you might want to try the other position in the set, or repeat the first one if you're feeling just a bit unsure. And we'll dance this time just in case you'd like to follow along with us. We'll do it as second couple. Another 8 bars, please. Ready, and. Set. Half turn. Separate. And cross over. All right. And I'm hoping that went well. Tourbillon is a word from the French that means a whirlpool, and you can definitely see the kind of whirlpool pattern in the circular formation there. I was on a trip to Quebec one time, and I was quite amused to notice a sidewalk stand selling tourbillons to the public. And I don't think they were selling whirlpools. I think it must be a name for some kind of an ice cream treat or something like that as well.
That's great. Yeah.
So you can think about that if you prefer, something with a strawberry swirl going through it. All right, I'm going to assume the tourbillon is familiar enough now that we can go ahead and put it into the dance. So Sands of Morar is a 32 strathspey, and I actually have a bit of show and tell. I have a little bit of sand from the beach at the Sands of Morar, little white sand. Morar is on the west coast of Scotland, not far from Mallaig, so near the ferry across to Skye. And the rest of the dance, you'll be glad to know, is a little more straightforward. So it begins with the ones dancing a figure of 8 around the standing twos, a different version of a figure of 8 than we had in the last dance. Specify that we take hands as we cross down, take right hands, bars 1 and 2, cast up, 3 and 4, take left hands crossing down on 5 and 6, and cast back to place. And we'll put this together with the next figure, which is also quite straightforward. It's a reel of 3 on the sides, though the ones dancing in and down to begin. So it's a mirror reel on your own sides in 8 bars. So dancing in, taking hands, away, curving round 3rd place, dancing in and away, and curving back to place. So you want to use the maximum amount of space you have for the 8-bar reel so you don't shortchange it. So let's try those 2 figures together. I think you can dance those straight off. So it's figure of 8 around the 2s, giving hands when you cross, right, then left, and then the mirror reel of 3 on the sides, ones in and down to begin. So for 16 bars, thank you, Susan.
Do you want the title tune this time?
We could have the title
Right,
tune
yeah.
now, yes, yeah. Ready, and. And the reel. Okay, so that's the first half. Hopefully that went well, and we'll move along. Next is a sort of a figure unto itself. The ones are going to turn with both hands and open out to face down, as we did in the practice earlier. Meanwhile, the twos and threes will continue the track of the reel up the sides to come in behind the ones. So we're going to turn, 1 and 2. Dance down to third place, so that's fairly short steps. And the twos and threes will have folded in behind us. We all set on bars 5 and 6 and cast up back to our original place, 7 and 8. And that's usually longer steps. Twos will cast back to second place, threes will dance down to third place. So let's dance those 8 bars just by themselves. So it's turn, dance down, set, cast back. Ready, and. And this prepares us for what's to follow, which is the tourbillon. So that last figure started with a 2-hand turn. The tourbillon starts with a 2-hand turn with a strong step. I think we practiced the tourbillon earlier, so I think we can probably put those two formations together. So we'll do the turn, dance down, set, and cast back, followed by the tourbillon, which is our progression. 16 bars, ready, and. Set. And the tourbillon. All right. So we've got all the pieces. I hope people are feeling reasonably secure with that. This dance in normal social times does get done a fair bit, and the tourbillon is used in quite a lot of other dances, but this is the only one to date that's been published by the RSCDS. So let's put the whole dance together once through the Sands of Morar. Recalling that it begins with a figure of 8 with the ones crossing and casting around the twos, then the reel of 3 on the sides, mirror reel of 3, then the little figure where the ones turn, dance down, set, and cast back, followed by the other couples, and then the tourbillon to finish. So 32 bars, please. Ready, and. And the reel. Turn and setly down. And the tourbillon. All right. I hope you found success with that. It's one of my favorite dances, and I have very much missed being able to do it socially during the last 18 months or so. So I think we'll have it twice through for a chance to dance it a couple more times and either remember those good times or become familiar with the dance if it is new to you. So The Sands of Morar by Barry Pretty, published in RSCDS Book 45, 32 bar Straspe. I can check and see if there's any questions, but presuming I would have heard if there were any at this point. To begin with,
So far.
No, none so far? Great. So, figure of 8 around the 2s, reel of 3 on the sides, one's turn, dance down, set, and cast back, and the tourbillon to finish. 1,000 curtsies, twice through. Very well played. Beautiful music. Yes. Susan, any comments about the music?
Yes, I do have some comments about this music. Sands of Morar has a traditional tune that goes with it, but the other two tunes that we were playing while we were going back and forth, one of them is by Willie Hunter and the other is by Tom Anderson, and both of those are musicians from the Shetland Islands, and they're both, I think Tom Anderson is deceased by now. I'm not sure about Willie Hunter, but they've both been quite old by now. But it's just a nice thing, that kind of music.
Very, very nice tunes, yes, yeah. All right, quick drink if you need it, people. And we've got one more dance I wanted to take a quick look at. Our time is moving along. I hope you're enjoying the class. So we're going to move into real time now and look at a form of progression that is a little less often seen and it's conceptually a little more challenging. So if you've done fine with the first two so far, you should be all set up for our last one. It's a bit more challenging because it is not symmetrical. One diagonal does one set of movements while the other diagonal does something slightly differently. So this is called the spiral progression. It's in a few modern dances. So to begin with, we start from the opposite side, and we're going to show what the first man's diagonal does. So I'm first man dancing on the ladies' side. Laura is second lady. We're going to turn with right hands for 3/4 of the way around to meet our partners. Take left hands with them and balance in line. On the second step, they will turn around and take nearer hands with us. So I and my partner are facing the same way. Laura and her ghost partner are facing the same way. We're all facing clockwise. We rotate this line 2 steps to a new axis. Release the outside hand so that first lady can dance down to second lady's place as second man dances up to top place. And we turn 3/4 to our progressed places. I'm first man, I'm now in second man's place. Let's show that little bit again. So it's a little more challenging to get a hold of, I think. A little faster this time, so we're going to turn 3/4. Balance in line, our partners will turn around. We rotate the line, 5 and 6, and we turn on as they dance up or down, 7 and 8. Good. Meanwhile, what are the other two doing? So, Laura's now going to be first lady and I'm going to be second man. We wait for the first 2 bars while they are turning, and then turn to take left hands with them to balance in line on 3 and 4. We then rotate the line, right? 1 position round, and then second man dances up, first lady dances down to our new positions. Let's do that once more, because I was having a bit of a quandary there because I was talking too much. So we rest for the first 2 bars, take hands in balance, turning around on the second bar, rotate the line, 5 and 6, dance up or down, 7 and 8. Okay, so let's have, if you haven't walked that yet, take a position that you'd like to walk it from, and I'll just count it for you to walk to. So why don't you take the first man's diagonal first of all? So be a first man or a second lady if you're dancing solo or just as 2 people. So to begin with, the first man from the opposite side and the second lady from the man's side turn 3/4 by the right hand. So their diagonal is now in this sort of direction. Pick up your partners with your outside hand and set. They will turn round on bar 4. Rotate the line 5 and 6 and release the outside hand. The middles turn while the others dance up or down, 7 and 8. All right, come back to those positions and let's try dancing this with some music. So we'll be crossed over. We'll dance the first man, second lady diagonal to show, because those people are the ones moving all 8 bars. 8 bars, please, of reel. Ready, and. All right. Almost released, we started to release hands a bit too early there, but I think you got the general idea. So it's quite a bit of different length of step. The turns on bars 1 and 2 and 7 and 8 are, you have to reach a bit. Bars 5 and 6 is not a lot of ground to cover. Let's do that again. We'll take the other position this time. So we'll be first lady and second man. And we'll go to whichever position you'd like to dance it from. And we'll do the same thing once again. Ready, and. All right. Hope everyone is faring well enough with that. May be new to you. This dance does not get done an awful lot, although I think it is on the DAA list of dances. So if you've been involved with the DAA, you will have had some experience with it there. The dance that this appears in the RSCDS collection is A Castle in the Air, which is published in book 43, written by Minnie Benninger from Switzerland, who also devised the formation, I believe. And the good news is that the rest of the dance is quite straightforward, so we can put that together quite easily, I think. It's a 2-couple reel. To begin with, we go back to our original little exercise we did. Ones are going to turn with the right hand for 4 bars, and back with the left hand for 4 bars. We're then going to do yet another figure of 8. That's the sort of subtext for my lesson, was different versions of figures of 8. So this is a full double figure of 8 with the 1s crossing down and the 2s casting up. So we're crossing down. You just have to imagine those ghosts are working very hard there as well. 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So I think we can put that first half together right away. Nothing complicated there. So ones turn with the right hand for 4 bars and the left hand for 4 bars. And then dance a double figure of 8 with the twos, ones crossing down as the twos dance up the sides. First 16 bars, ready, and. All right, hope that went well. Next little bit, we need a figure to get us to the opposite side for our last 8 bars. So both couples are going to turn with right hands 3/4 to a line up and down the middle, and retaining hands set on bars 3 and 4. Releasing hands, dance to your right, curving out to the opposite side and pulling back right shoulder, and then set on bars 7 and 8. So come back and we'll dance those 8 bars. Turn 3/4, set, dance out to the, curve out to the side, and set. Ready, and 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Let's do that one more time with some music. Thank you.
This is the
This is the third formation.
Thank you.
Yeah, third 8 bars. Ready, and. Okay. And we're all ready for our spiral progression, which finishes the dance. So we've practiced that a couple of times. Why don't we come back to where we're starting the third figure, and we'll put the third and fourth pieces together. So we'll do turn and set, curve out to the opposite side and set, and then launch into the spiral progression with first man and second woman turning to begin. Last 16 bars. Ready, and. All right. I'm hoping you all kept track of that. If you actually had all the bodies to dance it, at least two couples, I think you did probably better than those of us who are dancing just as one couple or as solos. But I'm hoping you enjoyed it at any rate. So the dance is Castle in the Air. I think we can, time is definitely slipping along, so let's put it together 3 times through with our bows and curtsies. And again, as with the first dance, you can either dance it from the same position 3 times in a row, you can dance as ones, twos, and ones, or you can dance as ones, take a breather, and dance as ones again, or as twos the second time, whichever you prefer. So A Castle in the Air from Book 43 by Minnie Beininger. 32-bar reel begins with ones turning by the right for 4, by the left for 4. Dance a double figure of 8 with the twos. Then it's ones and twos turn with right hands 3/4, set facing up and down, curve out to the opposite side, and set on 7 and 8, and then this spiral progression. Why don't we dance just for lark? Bows and curtsies, thank you. Double figure of 8. Turn and set. And the spiral. We'll rest this one a little bit as twos. Nice music. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And I hope that went well for everyone who is dancing, and that was enjoyable for those who are just listening to the music as well. So we're just about out of time. We just have time for a very short cool down. So if we could have some waltz time music.
I'd like to say one more thing about the middle reel that we played there. It was written by Bobby Frew, who was one of the many great musicians who left Scotland and came over to Canada. He's no longer with us, but it's a beautiful piece of music there. That was the Golden Shores reel.
Okay. So shake everything out, and we'll have a little bit of waltz time
right.
to relax our muscles. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And rotate shoulders. And the other way. And shake out the feet. Roll through the feet. And reach one hand up, grasp the other wrist and pull gently. And same on the other side. And thank you, Susan. Just roll through a few more bars. Stretch out the torso. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I wanted to thank all of my cohorts here, Laura Cooper, and the musicians, if they'd like to come around and say hi. And also thank the organizers, Kathy and all of our co-hosts who've been putting this all together, and all those working behind the scenes. So here are Susan and Michael.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to be playing together, and nice to just be thinking about all the other people who are.
That's right, yes. Okay. So I'll turn it back over to Kathy now. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Alan. That was a lot of fun. I have to say, the one only time I taught Glayva, it was an unmitigated disaster. So it's so much easier when there maybe aren't people.
Well, thank you for not saying that before I taught.
Well, that was me teaching it, so that's a totally different thing. So I'd like to thank both of you very much, and Michael and Susan. That was wonderful. The live music makes such a difference, and we've been so lucky with our classes this week to have live music with every class. It's just fantastic.
Yes.
And now we will transition smoothly, I hope, into a bit of social time. So if you are wanting to hang around, Sharon Barker will take over the job of manipulating your lives temporarily into breakout rooms so that you can chat with each other for a little while before hopefully you go off and find your dinners someplace. So
Or your
thank you.
drinks or whatever.
Yes, anything that's important. So, and don't forget the Kaylee starts at 5 p.m. this evening, Pacific Daylight Time. So please come back refreshed. I hope.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to